Well, the way I try to think about diving is I have a mental pattern for a dive, and I can visualize the dive and know how it feels and what it should look like. And then when I get up there, I somewhat have a mental version of exactly what I'm going to do. With swimming, what does that visualization look like?
Yes, it looks pretty funny for us. We what I do, what our group does is probably like a month or two before we actually go into a major competition, we will kind of just all go into a room, cover our eyes, and we just lie there. And our coach, Adam, he will talk us through a scenario where we're at Adelaide Pool, we're in the marshalling area, we're sitting around and we walk out, we do a little walk out, and then we visualize our race and he times us. And, we just visualize, like I'll visualize a 200 breaststroke and I'll put my hand up when I finish the race in my head and he'll give me a time. And leading into World Champs in 2019, when I equaled the world record, I was getting bang on times from my visualization. Whereas like earlier on, you go like, say my PB is a 206. And early on, he'll be like, oh, you went a 252, which is just so far off what I would actually do in a race. But before World Champs, I was going like 206, 206, 206, like every time I visualized.
Wow.
And again, I was like, damn, that's kind of freaky. Like
Yeah.
I'm on, like I've got this whole race plan in my head and I'm going to execute it in 2 weeks. So yeah, that's how we do it generally. And we just kind of, simulate that walkout and then the feel and how high your stroke rate is. So like how fast your arms are spinning essentially. So it's just like all those little things when we just lie there.
And that feeling when you make a plan, you visualize and you achieve that goal, like you did when you broke the world record.
Yeah.
That's an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
That's got to be good.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Like that feeling when I equal that world record, I didn't think I was going as fast as I was. I was going to switch off with 50 to go, but then I heard the crowd cheering, and I knew that. So the world record holder at the time was in lane 2, Ipe Watanabe, and I turned at 150 and I saw him, and he wasn't too far behind me. And I heard the crowd cheering, so I was like, all right, he's catching me. I need to keep going. I need to just keep doing what I'm doing. And in the end, I realized that he had switched off and I was actually, the world record line was at my hands, and that's why they were cheering. So I can put it down to the South Korean crowd why I kept going as fast as I did. And I remember about 5 meters out, again, this is with visualization. We had like visualized scenarios where I would be short on the wall or long on the wall. And if I could make...
And that's with your hand reach?
Yeah. So like when you finish, you do a stroke and you finish on the wall like this, not ideal. Or if you're like long and you're gliding through, also not ideal. So we visualize making a change in your stroke about 5-10 meters out so that you can get on a full stroke on the wall.
And that's just the fastest, most efficient way to hit it?
Yeah, that's the best way. Like if you can hit it on a full stroke without like undulating or being like tucked up like that, like that's the best way to finish. And I remember about 10 meters out, I knew I was going to be short on the wall. So I was like, all right, here's the adjustment. I've visualized this adjustment before. And I made that change. And I reckon if I didn't make that change, I wouldn't have got that equal or record. Like I would have been really short on the wall. So I did like a bit of a quicker 2-stroke and then I was back on.
And then when you hit that wall, was the visualization so precise that it was kind of like you'd been in the moment before?
Yeah, like you'd kind of dream of, having world records and winning gold medals and stuff like that. But seeing the time up there, it was like spot on with the visualization that I'd seen, like turning around and seeing a time, like a 206. That was the first time I'd been 206.
What was your PB before that?
I went 207.3 6:03 at like the trials 5 weeks before.
So the
6
whole
weeks.
second.
Yeah, it was
1.3
about. It
faster.
was nearly a second. And in the morning I went pretty easy. I went 2:07.4, and I was like, all right, we're going 2:06 tonight. Like I've got this. But yeah, like turning around and seeing that, it was like I visualized this whole thing, and you then you get to it and you're like, what do I do now? Like I just kind of sat there and I like pumped my fist and I was like, should I celebrate more?
Yeah.